Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to the number one horror podcast on Pornhub, Getting Off. I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter, and I am here with my core four this evening. She is the host of the She-Lead Showcase, currently frozen on your screen, the Shaman of She-Lead, the sun through which you've seen through a revolving door in the mall, Rookie of the Year, host of a bunch of different podcasts, and essentially a unwilling member of Creation World, Miss Katie Kinsey Bay.
Hi, I don't know what the fuck is going on with my camera, and I'm mad, and it's Reek's fault.
Fair enough. Speaking of which, back again for 2 episodes in a row. The man that really kind of brought this whole horror podcasting core 4 group together to discuss all things horror, and then allowed me to, get a bomb-ass intro and do my own thing because he got really busy and had a girlfriend and didn't have time to do shit. Mr. Reek Havoc.
What's up?
He's also from Young Kings Wrestling, the Havoc Hour, and another podcast soon to be debuting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Another podcast pending.
Last but not least, the richest man in the room, as you can tell from where he's podcasting from, my favorite filthy Filipino, host of the Get Yo podcast, a special guest or co-host for Marks with Mikes, and the person living closest to me currently, it's your boy Juss.
Yay. We here? Let's do this. Stab some bitches.
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah, see, we'll get it like the movie, The Core 4. That's what we are.
Yes, come on.
But that is what we're here to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Scream 6 has now been out for about 2 weeks. So if you are watching this, full spoiler warning. If you have not seen Scream 6, please come back at a later date after you've watched it and listen to our thoughts and review, because we are going to ruin everything about this movie if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
We'll go around the room. First with Elsa.
I hate you so much. I literally am like, I pulled it up and I don't know why. This hasn't been an issue before.
That is correct, but it's here now, and it's better to have fun with it than try to ignore it. So we're just going to have fun with it, Elsa. How'd you feel about Scream 6?
A, you're an ass. B, I loved the movie. So much so that I saw it twice in theaters.
All right. Mr. Reek Havoc?
I was thoroughly impressed. I feel like, when you get to this number at that point in the franchise, you feel like there can be some fatigue and some laziness that sets in. It did not happen at all here. And I concerned for the trajectory, which I guess we'll get to later, but for this entry, it was definitely exceeded expectations, at least for me.
Yes, will Elsa, because she's frozen. Katie's got me. Juss.
Yep.
Love it, hate it.
Love it. I mean, it's like Reek said, kind of like, I'm just gonna tag in what he said. To get up to 6 movies and kind of have something new every time. I know that they're kind of like, this is a sequel of a requel, but the fact that they are still trying to do something different and bring something new to the new Scream franchise, I think it's really good. So shout out to them.
Yeah.
All right. We are all aware that this Scream 6 was the movie that they didn't deem Neve Campbell worthy of the price tag to pay for. So she unfortunately was referenced, but did not make an appearance in Scream 6. This is the first Scream movie that has not featured an appearance from Neve Campbell.
Crazy.
As Sydney. And it takes place in New York, like another favorite horror franchise, which you guys may have noticed, the thumbnail for this episode and the homage to that. One of my favorite things is Jason Takes Manhattan was actually playing on one of the TVs in the movie.
Thought
They
of
were
you
watching it.
instantly.
I appreciate that. But essentially, Sam and Tara are off to college. Well, Tara's off to college. Sam's just kind of stalking her sister because she was a shitty sister her entire life, and then they almost died. So now she's like helicopter parent. They're living in an apartment with police chief's daughter, and Tara is trying to like break free of her sister's gaze. Sam doesn't think that Tara's really dealing with the situation. She's going to therapy. Everyone's trying to say that she is actually the murderer and she framed Richie and what the fuck was that girl's name?
Amber,
yeah. There's a whole conspiracy theory going around about that. So she's like the most hated person in this college town and on the campus when she goes to visit. And of course, our beloved Ghostface makes a return to off them. Reek, you mentioned a formula. Tell me a little bit about the formula that you noticed, starting with the last movie and how that worked and leading to this one.
So, the first three, right? You have, who your killers are, the way that they kind of put those red herrings out and stuff like that as things went along. Part 1, part 2, and then part 3 was what it was. Part 4, I always felt like it was kind of like attempt at a reboot somewhat, but it leaned closer into the original than a lot of people realize. But part 5 was like, okay, we're starting the cycle over now, because it followed that's whole trajectory. The boyfriend was one of the killers, and then another friend they were in Stu's house, but there was just twists to it because the original girl gets attacked. It was Tara. Thought she was dead until like 2 seconds later you find out she's not, and just little things along the way. When we get to this one, you find that, okay, like in part 2, the cast has moved off. One's, like you said, one's going to college, and now it's like they're following these rules now. Again, the sequel rules, but now here and the 6th movie, your franchise rules. But there's so many different twists to it that I really like. Like, there's one, I don't know if we're here yet, but like at the very end that, I guess if you're a student of these films, like I'm sure most of us at this point are, you notice certain tropes and stuff that they do, little Easter eggs that they kind of point out to kind of give you an idea. Okay, this is what you should expect to see when we get to the final act. But then they subvert your expectations. This franchise is the king of subverting expectations and what you think you're going to see in these films. And this was another example of that, and it was perfect. I think this, obviously it emulated Scream 2 as best as it possibly could, for everything from the setting to who the eventual killers were. And it's why I said I have some concern about what the next film is going to be, but it's all, there's a lot of familiarity in there that you can really enjoy.
Yes, Pretty Kyle, Gail Weathers, aka Monica from Friends, is in this one. We're not, well, she won't be in the next one. Maybe.
Well,
possibly.
Did we see the body though? That's always the thing with these movies. If we actually saw the body, it's like,
I thought they said she was alive.
Yeah, they definitely confirmed.
Yeah, she had a very weak pulse, and then they threw her to the hospital.
We don't know if she made it out of the hospital though. Like, she made it to the end of the movie, barely, but we don't know if she got out of the hospital. She's been in there a lot. There's a lot of trauma to that body. All right.
Yeah.
It only holds up for so long.
Oh.
And also, maybe this is just for the most recent 2 films, but apparently, stabbing does not equal death anymore. Like, it doesn't matter how many times you get stabbed anymore. Like it used to be, unless you were Dewey, you were the pincushion, you could get stabbed, maybe 3 times and you're done. This one, like, you get a whole fucking section to your body, and You be
You good?
good.
You still
So
for real?
Reek said it. It kind of follows what Halloween did, and we all loved Halloween from 2018,
Yep.
which was very much an homage to the first Halloween. And then Halloween Kills came out, which again took and did a lot of what Halloween 2 did. And then Halloween Kills comes out, Halloween Kills comes out, and then Halloween Ends comes out, and it was very off the beaten path, much like Halloween 3. And then, like Reek said, 5 very much reiterated a lot of the first movie, the ending in Stu's house, all of that. This movie taking place in college, even down to the point that who was the killer in this movie, Katie?
Well, there were 3 killers in this movie. Detective Bailey, Ethan, and Quinn.
Yeah.
And who were they related to?
Richie.
And why were they trying to kill Sam and Tara and all their friends?
Because Sam killed Richie.
Killed my baby.
And in Scream 2, who was the killer?
Killers.
Billy's
Well,
mother.
Mom, yeah.
Yeah.
Mom. Yeah.
That's
Nancy.
the only one that matters. Mickey, the film student,
I know.
doesn't matter.
know.
And why was Mrs. Loomis trying to kill Sydney?
Because Sydney killed Billy.
And it's funny to me because it's the same, like, that was one of the logics that really bothered me in Scream 2 was like, your child murdered a shit ton of people and tried to kill this girl, and now you're trying to kill her because she defended herself again and didn't let herself get killed. But it works now because we're mimicking that flawed logic. So now we have a police chief who has 2 children who are related to the killer, and he's like going down the same psychotic rabbit hole of, I understand that my son was fucked up and tried to murder a bunch of people, but you killed him, so now I have to kill you. And the daughter who, listen, I called that the police chief was the killer. I looked at Kate and I said, it's going to be the police chief before the reveal, right? But I was wrong about one thing. She's like, it couldn't be the police chief because, you know, they killed his daughter. And I'm like, well, maybe he got sick of his daughter sleeping around with every fucking guy on campus. And that's why he killed him. Maybe that's going to be his reason.
Sex positive.
We are sex positive. He might not be. He's a villain, Katie.
I know.
But that's what I was saying. He's like, if it comes out that he's the killer, he might be like, oh, well, my daughter was a fucking whore and I got tired of all the blah, blah, blah. And that's why he murdered her. I was wrong about that. He didn't actually kill her. He faked her death, and she was one of the 3 killers in this movie now, which was a nice little cool reveal. But she's also the one that started all the rumors about Sam being the killer to get everyone to turn against her and blah, 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 and all that. So that was really cool as well. And then obviously Randy's niece constantly saying that Ethan is the killer and keeping her eye on him and being right about it.
But you know something that was deeper than that? First off, I had the police chief too, only because of the fact that they made it clear that the killer was very tall. So you're limited to him, Tara's not Tara, Sam's fuck buddy, boyfriend, whatever, and the son. But the thing was, like, the daughter threw me off because, like, I'm thinking, okay, she's dead, scratch her off the list. And the way they played that off in the end was perfect. But like I was saying before, if you pay attention, you're a student of these films, there's things that they do to let you know what's going on. Billy and Stu, what they were wearing that night, and then what Sydney's father was wearing, they mimicked that in part 4. Because the whole time you were thinking, like, okay, maybe Jill's boyfriend was the killer and that's why, whatever. Then you find out Jill, who was wearing the same striped shirt that Billy was wearing, she was one. The boyfriend was wearing that jacket and shirt that Sydney's father was wearing. He was the guy that was getting framed for it. So, like, you kind of, there's little things like that. If you pay attention, because they do it on purpose, you see it. The son was wearing that jacket and shirt like Sydney's father. So And then that was in the last act when they got on the subway. So I'm looking at that now. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. They marked him safe. Like that. This was the twist that I wasn't ready for, because I'm like, okay, she's been calling him the killer the whole time. Like, okay, well, now they're making it obvious it can't be him. And then now he's got on the entire. So he's marked safe. He's out of the zone. So it's the cop and somebody else, and then it turns out it's him anyway. Like, oh, okay, I guess we're just misdirecting what the tropes are now.
At any point, did any of you believe that Kirby was the killer?
No.
Just for a half second.
Yeah, exactly. There's like that little part where I thought that she was like kind of in on it. But then after a while, as the movie goes on, I'm like, why would she be in on it though? You know?
But it was only in that moment because, again, I ruled out the son because he had the right shit on. So I'm like, okay, it's the cop and it's somebody else. And then because the obvious height difference, I'm like, okay, so that's got to be, if they're the only people in here with Kirby, it's got to be Kirby. So it's like, it kind of forced me into that thinking for just a moment.
Katie, you knew the whole time, not Kirby.
Yeah, my friend, like, because I went with my friends and they were like, it's the detective and Kirby. I was like, it's not going to be fucking Kirby. There's no way it's Kirby. I didn't know who the other one was, but I knew damn well it wasn't going to be Kirby.
It would have, I thought it would have been a nice twist if one of the previous victims went crazy and was a killer. But I was fairly certain that Kirby was a curveball. Especially when we got to the theater and they're like, oh, it's Kirby, it's got to be Kirby. Yep. And then the cop called. And I was like, no, it's that fucking cop. It's that fucking cop.
Yeah.
Like, also, we don't trust the popo around here. So,
nope. No, we do not.
Just saying. Let's talk about the opening scene because they fucked me up right from the get-go.
Oh,
they had
dude,
Flash Thompson out
Yes.
there revealing himself as the killer. And I'm like, this is what we're doing? We're just going to know that Flash is out here murdering fucking people in New York City on college kids. Like, is this a Spider-Man tie-in? Did he go crazy? Is he the Venom symbiote out here just fucking up teachers in alleyways? If they had actually done that and revealed the killer at the very beginning of the movie and then slowly let the motivations reveal themselves,
I would have lost my mind.
I was kind of hyped for that.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Yeah.
That would have been crazy.
Yeah. That was interesting. I also felt like, I also kind of felt like it was like not a nod to, but probably like a nod to the very beginning of Scream 4 when they show those false beginnings. Mm-hmm. Because it's like the chick from Pretty Little Liars and the other one. Okay, that's not the beginning of this movie. And then you went to Kristen Bell and Anna Paquin on the couch. Yep. She stabs her. No, that's not the beginning of the movie either. It was like that last stab. It's like, okay, so there's no title card, so we're not done here. He just takes his mask off. Like, okay, all right. I guess we're just rolling with this. Whatever. But,
and to be honest, that opening in Scream 4 is one of the reasons why I really fucking love Scream 4, because I thought that was cool as shit the way they did that, where it was a stab movie and people watching a stab movie, and you didn't know when the movie was actually starting. Like, just got you over and over again. I fucking love that. But we have Samara Weaving in a bar looking to meet some dude who can't find his way out, does what every dumb white girl does, leaves the bar, walks into an alley, because the guy's texting. Like, seriously, you can see from one end of the alley to the other. If a dude is texting me and saying, I see you, but I don't see him, I'm not Katie, are you going down that alley?
Hell no.
Is it not a fact that most women walk with their keys between their fingers at night and when they're alone anyway?
Yes, but you also shouldn't do that because it can really fuck up your knuckles. I took a few self-defense courses.
Fair.
But yeah, don't do that.
Kyle McGraw?
Shut up.
She's just out there trusting some fucking Tinder date to come find her in an alley.
Nope.
No.
Thank you.
And she gets shanked. She gets stabbed by Flash Thompson. Flash goes home. You find out that he was buddies with Richie. And it looks like they were looking to get revenge for Richie. And it's like, all right, wow, you're just giving us everything right off the bat.
Yeah.
He's got a partner. And then he gets a phone call and he thinks it's his partner fucking with him. And I'm like, oh, your partner's dead, bro. Like, or he's going to kill you, one of the two. Because he's all like, how did it feel? And he's, oh, it's so exhilarating. Like, I know I said we'd wait, but I wanted to get some practice in. And like, how fucking insane do you have to be like, I just wanted to get some murder practice in.
Right.
So I stabbed his film teacher, by the way, actual teacher who gave him a bad grade. And he's like, fuck it, she's got to go.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Leads him into the kitchen after this whole talk and song and dance, opens the fridge. His friend is dead, shoved in the refrigerator. Reminded me a lot of Friday the 13th Part 2.
Hey.
I said that too.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Flash gets murdered. And here we go. What are some of you guys' favorite? Because that was one of my favorite things. That whole opening got me. What about you guys?
That was my favorite too. It was like when the dude found out that his head was there next to the meat compactor, right by the over there, like his ass was by the the crisper and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you got to keep that ass fresh.
Like, move the potato salad aside. I'm gonna put this decapitated head here, right here.
I thought it was interesting how they had this whole shrine to basically everything from Stu and Billy all the way on down to the most recent killers. Like, they had the whole lineup of the different costumes and the masks. Every time someone gets killed, they left one of the masks at the scene that they actually used. And my question is, who spent their God-given time to go to each individual crime scene and snag not only the mask from that particular murder, but then everyone's costume to put it in a fucking...
They gave you that answer.
Detective Bailey.
Yeah, the shrine was Richie's. Richie was obsessed with the movie, and Detective Bailey, who is a cop who has access to all of the evidence, collected all of this sick, fucked up memorabilia for his child. And I'm glad you brought that up, Reek. Kate, but first, before I talk about what you just mentioned, Katie, what was one of your favorite scenes from the movie? Oh, shit.
Oh.
She got unfriended.
So finding the shrine, obviously one of them. What?
Your audio froze.
I'm still here.
We thought you were dead.
Dude, what the fuck? Okay, well, because it looks fun. It looks fine on my end, so please actually tell me if something happens.
Okay.
We just
shut up. Opening scene, the shrine, but we keep mentioning it. Core 4. I love that they played into that so much. Because survivors of trauma literally got stabbed in some way, shape, or form. Poor Chad became the Dewey of the new franchise.
100%.
And that's why he survived, because he's the new Dewey. That's why he didn't die at the end. And I really thought he did, and I got so sad. Especially because I was like, no, him and Tara kissed. You can't do this.
Him and Tara also got cock blocked hard.
Yeah, fuck Quinn.
Yeah. But what Reek brought up, one of the really cool aspects of this movie is not only did Detective Bailey collect all of this stuff, but they were using the actual masks from other killers throughout, and each had their own mask from their own favorite killer from previous in the franchise. So Detective Bailey, I believe, was using Billy's mask, which is the oldest one that is got the most damage. And then one of them was using Jill's mask, I believe. They also left the masks at the crime scenes after they murdered someone. So when they look back, it's like, oh, well, this mask is from this killer from this movie. And cool little trail of not really Easter eggs, but
working backwards.
Movie Easter eggs, I guess, for the sake of the movie, an Easter egg trail for the characters, not necessarily for us. But I really fucking love that. And then Katie, what you were just talking about, the core 4, the relationship between Tara and Chad, and how Tara almost just said fuck it and let some frat boy have his way with her because she just is completely at a loss of everything after what happened to her, and she doesn't know how to deal with it. Chad coming in to make the save, comforting her, there being a little chemistry there. Also, Tara, so Sam swinging on Gail Weathers and Gail
Yes.
and
Yes.
then Tara coming out of nowhere and blocking her.
Fantastic.
And that goes back to what Rick was saying too, how it's like just similar to the second movie, because that's what happens in the second movie too. So,
yeah, no, I fucking love that because, like you said, it's the whole Sydney punched Gail in the first movie and blah blah blah, and she's like, "Oh, if you've been doing this for as long as I have, you got to dodge it," because Gail wrote another book after she said she wouldn't, and Gail said some things that she said she wouldn't. I also love how they addressed, by putting Sam in therapy, the fact that something we just kind of ignored that was happening in the last movie. Like, she has visions of her, like, psychosomatic, full-on visions of her dad speaking to her and egging her on to kill people, which actually paid off in this movie because Billy's like, "Put on my shit, girl. Do it. Let's go. Take up my mantle."
Yeah.
I wonder if what's her name? Noelle Foley goes through that with her dad being Mick Foley. You know,
Jesus Christ.
Just occasionally like walks by a glass case.
Yeah.
And sees the
Every time she walks
Nick's
by a
like,
balcony, you want to jump off of this? You want to, you know?
Bro.
You know what's sad though? Because of who Mick really is, it'd probably be more like him coaxing her into dressing up like Santa than anything else.
That's wholesome.
Put on the hat, decorate the tree.
Wholesome take, okay.
I will say the bodega scene for me was like really cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was really tense. It kind of brought me back to the first Jurassic Park where they're in the kitchen trying to hide from the Velociraptor. It kind of gave me that vibes, but it was like you had actual people in there like buying groceries, and then you just had Ghostface in there with a shotgun, and it's New York, so they're like, "I don't fucking care. I still want to pay for my bananas." You know, like they were still going about their business, not caring that there was a man in here. But yeah, it was
Ghostface
definitely...
walks in and dude's like, "Hey, there's a line, bro. I gotta get my cigarettes and my fucking 40. I'm trying to get out of here. There's a party to go to." And then Ghostface just stabs him.
Right. Yep. And I like how every time he shot something, like it was like a Michael Bay movie where like the baking powder would just explode as if it was like dynamite. You know what I'm saying? It was dope. He came in there, sawed off shotgun, hand on the pump. Left hand on the 40.
He didn't come in with the sawed-off shotgun. He murdered the storekeeper who had the sawed-off shotgun.
Yes,
and again, one of the first times we have seen a Scream killer use a gun to try to murder someone.
Yeah. Yep.
That's true.
2 people.
And he looked badass with that shotgun. I'm not going to lie. Like, part of me is kind of like, going forward, fuck the knife. Like, just rock a sawed off, walk around.
For real.
You know what really got me? Wow, I thought we lost Gail, but it was the fact that as he's talking to her on the phone, it's like he was justifying why it was going to happen, because it's like, oh yeah, you've made your bones off of all this bloodshed that's happened over decades. You keep writing your books and all this other stuff when people are literally getting killed around you. And now look at you. I mean, even, your ex-husband, your best friend is dead. And even still, you're just having your way about just writing new shit. And you got a new boyfriend, everything like that. Like, you just living life luxuriously off of all of this.
Truth.
The one issue that I had with this movie is that scene right there, because at the end it is Quinn who says she was the one that stabbed Gail, which means Quinn is the one that beat up Gail's big black boyfriend and threw him through a bookcase.
That's what Quinn says. It's crazy.
Ain't no way.
And that's what I was saying. I'm like,
and she looked crazy from the jump, but she ain't that crazy. I'm sorry.
She's not an MMA fighter. Like, there's no fucking way.
I thought it was because the ghost face that looked for that scene was a little bit taller, right? Quinn's like
that too. I thought it was the cop, honestly.
Right, that's what I thought it was too.
but they were with the cop when they got the GPS location of the phone call.
It would have had to have been Ethan.
Okay.
Ethan or Quinn,
so
and
had
Quinn
to-
said it was her.
No, I know.
So,
There's no way.
and I thought
It's
about that
Ethan.
as we were walking out, and I talked to Kate about that. I was like, that little girl did not beat that man up and throw him through a
Fuck
fucking
no.
bookcase. There ain't
No.
no way.
Unless she was taking steroids.
It's a Scream movie. It is what it is. Listen, from my understanding of Quinn, she gets a lot of exercise. She might be way stronger than I think she is, especially in the legs. All right.
I mean,
Back shots
Hey,
do
come on.
pump up, like squats.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
but-
the way she was balancing on the ladder too looked like it hurt. So I mean, that would hurt a normal person.
like, I'm just saying that dude was in shape, so it ain't no way that this little girl was handling him like that. Not that way. No, I'm not buying it.
I mean, but when you go back and look at it, like whoever the ghost face was struggling.
Yeah,
Yeah, when you go back, he might. I'm guessing that he probably got stabbed, like in the midst of trying to get off. Trying to get off each other.
Getting
Getting
off.
the funniest the funniest part of that scene though. The funniest part of that scene was when she's on the phone and she's like, "Can you hold for a second?"
Yeah.
Just out the door.
He's like, "Hello, yeah, this is for you." Yep.
Okay. Let's talk about because somebody brought up the ladder scene, right?
It was Justin.
Yeah. Let's talk about the ladder scene because we saw a little bit of it in the trailer that they dropped, but again, hot neighbor dude across the street
I love him.
that Sam has been fucking and not telling anyone about, but everyone knew she was fucking, is watching. He looks over into Quinn's room, sees Ghostface murder her, is trying to get everyone's attention, is calling Sam, say Ghostface is in your house, blah, 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 blah. We believe Quinn gets murdered. Ghostface is on the loose. They run. They end up getting split up. They lock themselves in the room. They get, the ladder. He's got it, which, again, at that point, I'm like, I don't trust this dude. How did he just have a ladder in his apartment that reached across, ready to go? This is a trap.
A little suspicious.
A little suspicious.
Very.
Yeah.
But they get across the ladder, and unfortunately, Mindy's girlfriend has been stabbed. And of course, she's like, I'll stay, as Ghostface is trying to break into the bedroom. She can't make it across the ladder, and he doesn't even grab her, pull her back or anything. He wants the full effect, the full splat. So he shakes the ladder and shakes the ladder and shakes the ladder until he throws her off, and she falls 4 or 5 stories down to her death. That was a really cool kill.
Off the dumpster, goddamn.
But yeah, that smack off the edge of it. Eesh. But my thing is, as she's climbing on the ladder, my first thought was, how are her guts not spilling out? Because I swear,
honestly,
my dude stabbed her and started doing the zipper all the way up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, her shit's got to be spilling out right now. You do not want her crawling across the ladder. It's just not.
Honestly,
This is not a good idea. Eesh.
Who else got off? We talked about the teacher. We talked about Mindy's girlfriend, whose name is escaping me at this point.
Annika.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kirby almost,
Uh,
right? Kirby got stabbed in the same place that she got stabbed in the 4th movie.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
fuck that therapist. All right. That was so fucked up. You ask her questions. Yeah, no, he was absolutely. You ask her questions and shit, and then when she answers honestly, you're just like, oh, I'm not qualified for this, and I'm gonna have to let the authorities. No, what happened to patient doctor confidentiality?
Right.
She tried to keep you safe. I don't want to talk about it, and you kept pushing. So you're gonna be mad about what you found out because you wanted to keep pushing.
Right, exactly.
The only thing about that is if you're a danger, if your therapist or doctor feels like you are a danger to yourself or others, you have to report it. But Sam said she was okay, so he didn't necessarily have to.
he didn't even spend enough time analyzing her to know. He heard like one thing. Oh yeah, my killer dad talks to me. He's like, oh nope, fuck that.
He said, nope, crazy.
Can't
Jail.
do that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's what Will said. Once you become a threat to yourself or other people, the therapist has to report it. However, I mean, she was only a threat to people trying to kill her. And I feel like everyone is a threat to people trying to kill them. Like, no one's just going to be like, oh, yeah, no, fuck it. I'll go.
Right.
He got stabbed in the nose. Can we talk about that?
Yes, he did.
For being nosy. No, okay. No.
True.
So,
that's appropriate. Yes, this is very true.
Flash Thompson and his sidekick, the teacher, the therapist,
Annika,
Quinn,
Yeah.
fake death, Annika, gone, Gail's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Twins. Core 4.
Yeah.
Core 4. And then we
Maybe Gail, right?
She's alive.
No,
I know.
They say it
I
at the
really
end of the
thought they
movie.
were going to kill her off, though, because we got rid of Dewey last movie. I thought Gail was going this movie. I really did.
Yeah, but I kind of like that she survived.
I was gonna say, I think they're just gonna make her like just be alive for all the movies, you know.
I'm telling
No,
you,
she
like
was
when he started talking about how it's like, oh, you making your luxurious life off of everyone else's death. It's like, okay, yeah, she's gonna die because he's sitting up here justifying this shit now, and it's like I can't argue with his logic at the same time. So, but no, if they get Gail, it's gonna be like clear cut. Like she might not get what Dewey got, but you're gonna know she's dead.
Oh man, Dewey, man.
Yeah, that was kind of fucked up how they did that.
Will said that there was 11 he counted.
Well, I'm going to ask Katie. Katie, are you counting the 2 or 3 people in the convenience store as well?
No.
Would that give you 11?
Well, because I'm at 8.
So it would give you 10 or 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be 10 or 11.
Yeah. The Vegas over under was 10.
Yeah. And that's also not counting the 3 killers at the end.
Yeah. Oh, I was counting Bailey, Quinn, and Ethan.
Oh, okay. Because we did get 3 fake or 3 fake out deaths. Because we thought Gail died, but we found out she lived.
Right.
We thought that Brad had died, but he was Dewey or Chad. Chad died, but he got Dewey. He lived, which made Jenna Ortega all wet in the pants. She was so excited.
As she should.
And we also thought Kirby got murdered, but Kirby survived as well.
Yeah. How ironic that Quinn faked her death and then actually dies.
Yeah.
Karma.
It'd have been so fucked up. I was about to be mad because I thought Mindy was going to catch it. Again, stabbing does not equal death because the way that scene went down, it's like, oh yeah, she's gonna fucking die. She ain't gonna make it. But then she does, and
that
apparently
cool
didn't go to the hospital. It was cool. It was a cool scene.
That scene was awesome.
I just didn't want to see that be because Mindy is essentially this trilogy's Randy.
Right.
You know what happens to Randy, which they kind of recreated that scene without a death scene. So I'm like, oh shit, that's not good. She got separated from them. That's not good. And now it's like, okay, one of them is on this train, so she's fucked. There it is.
Let's talk about that. What did she do? So the last movie was a requel. What was it that she dubbed this go round for them?
I remember she said it.
So in the last movie, she's like, we're in a requel. And then in this movie, when she was discussing the rules, she called it something. And it wasn't a requel. It was something else.
I mean, she said a sequel to a requel. And then she said, we're in a franchise.
We're in a franchise.
Oh, franchise. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But they're in the van. They're waiting for the call. And they're talking about it. And Mindy goes, this is exactly how my uncle died.
Yeah.
And then Kirby just looks at her like,
oh, yeah. Because Kirby wouldn't know. Like, Kirby is a fan of horror movies and everything. And I don't know if they did, how far into Stab 2 they got or everything like that. I would assume at least Stab 2 followed, the second movie. So Kirby should know. but you also don't know how close they follow everything when they do it. You know, poetic license and all of those things in movies. But yeah, she wasn't there. She was 3 or 2 movies later. Like she wasn't around for that. Right. So
also, Mindy never gets to hear the monologue. Let her hear the monologue next movie, please.
Did I miss it again? Damn it.
Her and Chad are fucking amazing.
No, they're great. Who else? Okay, Katie, so you've watched it twice.
Yes, sir.
Take us through the murder of the killers, how the 3 killers died.
Okay. Fuck. I should have prepared. So Quinn gets shot in the head by Sam, which was beautiful.
Well,
Ethan
hold
gets. Oh, okay.
So
okay.
Quinn and Sam are trying to escape, or Tara and Sam are trying to escape.
Yep.
Sam is holding Tara's hand, and the whole essence of this scene is all Tara wanted Sam to do was trust her to let her go and be her own person. And she says, just let me go. So she is going to fall down onto Ethan and handle Ethan. And once Sam finally says, you know what, you can handle yourself, and lets her sister go, grabs the gun, poof, right in the head. And the fucked up thing about it is Detective Bailey is trying to avenge his child and has to watch his other 2 children die in front of him.
Yeah.
Karma. He's a bad father.
And mind you, before we even listen, Quinn took a beating because in that scene where they were like back to back trying to like figure out a way out, Tara had that brick and knocked damn near all of that teeth out.
Yes. All right, so Tara gets dropped onto Ethan. Quinn gets shot in the head. Go ahead, Katie.
Ethan gets stabbed in the mouth.
Yeah.
Yes, Matthew.
Did Tara not get stabbed by Ethan first? Because she looks really fine.
She
again,
she did.
Several
times
like
she got stabbed really good. But then at the end, when like she's running up to Chad and everything, like I think her arm was in a sling. I'm like, you didn't get stabbed in the arm? She got
stabbed in the shoulder blade after Chad kissed.
I thought it wasn't.
But then when she falls on Ethan, she gets stabbed in the abdomen.
Right.
She got stabbed
again. Stab does not equal death anymore. That's my point. Chad should be dead as dog shit. Like,
but even as you said, he is the new Dewey, and we watched Dewey get fucked up.
Yeah.
Of course.
So
Dewey,
it's okay.
Dewey between 1 and 2 got fucked up so bad in the back. He had like nerve issues. In the third movie because of the way he was walking with the lip.
Yeah. Fuck him up.
I need them to do that with Chad in the next movie, by the way.
Stop. No. They might
have him take pills and all that.
He's got to take Viagra because he can't feel anything from the waist down, but he really wants to make things work with Tara.
Hey.
Realism. I need it.
Not with
all right. Ethan gets killed by Tara. Quinn gets killed by
in
Sam.
The face, and then Detective Bailey gets stabbed. I was like kind of counting the second time. It was
wait. You have to mention the line that she said. She said you're gonna die a virgin.
Oh yeah, because he just blurts it out in the park when they're going over the rules. He's like, I'm gonna die a virgin. And they're like, that's too much information. We didn't need this.
She just stabs him in the face and said, yeah, you're dying a fucking virgin.
Which happens. So
damn.
Detective Bailey gets stabbed over 30 times. If an official count comes out, I would like to see it. By Sam, just everywhere over the body, and then in the throat, and the eye is the final one. Like, Jesus Christ.
And what was Sam wearing when she murdered Detective Bailey?
Her dad's mask and robe.
Yeah.
And used his knife.
I was just going to say, use the knife, right?
because Kirby brought them into that theater and said, I'm the only one that gets a gun. Nobody gets any weapons. And the first thing Sam did was, well, I know where my dad's knife is. And it still had blood on it, which, like, I understand Detective Bailey's dead. However, that brings up a whole sort, like, if he didn't die, health concerns? No.
For real.
I mean,
cross-contamination?
If he's not dead, he certainly has AIDS.
Well, if anyone in the first movie that Billy killed did have
in the 90s, good chance.
Yeah, well. I also love how everyone's got the fucking knife, the Scream knife down.
The double.
Oh yeah, yep.
Chef's kiss.
I was like, oh yeah, that was dope.
Yeah.
What else?
The train scene I thought was also good too.
Oh, dude, the train scene was fucking done perfectly because they get separated unintentionally. They're all trying to get on the train to take this train downtown. And then, again, the cool train with Tara and Sam and Chad has, like, people in Hellraiser costumes and Michael Myers costumes.
Michael Myers, Jason.
A couple Ghostface, and you're like, oh, shit, what's going on? Poor Mindy gets separated, and all she has is Ethan. And this is where she's like really hard on Ethan being the killer and was right. Stay the fuck away from me, killer, psycho, all this shit. But
as he's wearing Sydney's dad's gear, that's what got me so much. I'm like, yo, he's safe though.
No, he had the little bit of plaid underneath the jacket, so that's how we knew.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, he's safe. He's safe. You're getting it wrong. And then she gets stabbed by, I guess, Quinn. So, like, oh.
Right.
Then she's sitting there. The lights keep going out. Like, Reek, you lived in New York for a bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
You ever rode the subway?
Oh, of course.
Is that something that normally happens on a subway ride?
No.
Okay.
That's an exaggeration to the high. Like, they might flicker on occasion when you go under tunnels, but not to that degree at all. That was definitely some just, we're in a scary movie. Let's push the boundaries a little bit.
Right.
Because Mindy's in the train. She's looking around. She's separated from everybody. Her texts are kind of sort of going through, but a little delayed and all that. And she sees a ghost face. And there's one ghost face who's just sitting down looking at the floor. And as she backs herself into a corner, which was a terrible fucking idea, and the lights go out and come back on, that ghost face is looking at her. And then the lights go out and come back on, and he's standing up. And the lights go out and come back on, and he's slowly moving. And then Ghostface disappears.
Yep.
And next thing you know, she's getting shanked in the back of a subway with people sleeping around her. And, like, Ghostface even did, like, the kind courtesy, like, you know, when you're trying to have sex, but you don't want anyone to hear your girlfriend or yourself, in Katie's case. Well, I guess in Katie's case, it could be both. Scream or make noise. So you just put your hand over their mouth, be like, shh, quiet now. As, you know, you're getting in the guts. Same thing here. Getting in the guts, hush the mouth. No one needs to hear you scream.
That's exactly what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I need that in a porn parody. I need, like, a screen scene porn parody.
Find it. That's the next watch along.
But there's a girl just, like, sleeping on the subway right next to this happening. The subway full of people. Nobody notices the girl in the back of the train getting murdered.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, that's some crazy shit. I'm like, somebody's got to witness this. Somebody's got to catch up to her before she gets fucking stabbed. No, you just happen to be next to the people who are just either asleep or high as fuck and they're knocked out. That was upsetting.
Right. But see, that's I mean, I guess it's kind of like real to the in real life. I mean, you have to think maybe this is like 2 a.m. Everyone's coming home from a party. No one knows what the hell they're looking in front of them. So
listen, as an avid subway rider at one point in my life, I can verify people do have their full-blown siestas on the train, and it does be, you know, when it's packed, it is packed. But even then, it's like somebody is going to see. At the very least, somebody's going to have their phone out, but like, oh, what's going on over here in this corner? Oh my God, they just got stabbed. Like it would go something like that.
The only thing I'm a little sad about, one of my favorite scenes from Jason Takes Manhattan is when they come out of the subway and Jason kicks over the boombox.
Yeah.
I kind of wish there was like a 2023 version of that.
Oh man.
Yeah,
That'd
that's
be fun.
true. I mean, I kind of said this while watching Creation World. Like, I said I'll be kind of mad if Ghostface Killer is not in this movie because they're supposed to be in New York. So, like, not. I mean, they could have had it in the bodega scene, like him just buying something. You know what I'm
They
saying?
could have.
And
know
Ghostface
this
Killer with
conversation.
Ghostface. I mean, come on.
And you know how many people would have been mad by that and been like, "Oh, this is fucking Buster Rhymes and Halloween Resurrection bullshit." Blah blah blah.
Oh man.
They would. You know they would because you know how the internet is. You make that face because you know how.
Oh my.
What is it you call them on Young Kings Wrestling, Reek?
Oh, hashtag you niggas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Know how they are.
Listen, I will not dispute that they're toxic as fuck. We know how that goes.
Oh
We've been there.
gosh, you're 100% right though. That's exactly what happened.
I
But
mean,
if
look,
I would have had
if-
fun.
if-
That would have been cool as shit.
Yeah.
the only way they would have an argument to make in that scenario is if Ghostface had a strap on him and say, "Oh, okay, I'm shooting this motherfucker," which he
Right, okay.
realistically, he's
Okay,
in the
I like
movie,
that,
he's
yeah.
probably gonna do that, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the only scenario I see that.
Okay.
All right.
I like
Reek
that.
mentioned it. I think we're all on board here, right? We see the trend of 5 and 6. We talked about it, 5 mimicking the first movie, 6 mimicking the second movie. Are we all in agreement that Scream 3 is still the worst Scream in the franchise?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh my
100%.
gosh.
Yes.
So are we worried that they're gonna? I mean, I know Reek has had a change of heart on Halloween Ends and has found a deep appreciation for what it is, like many people did Halloween 3 after the fact. I don't know if we're all there with Reek. I'm still a little on the fence. I did enjoy it, but I probably would have enjoyed it more if they had just done what I wanted them to do when I went into the movie, what I thought it was going to be. But are we worried about this trend for the next movie as good as the last two were? Because I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I maintain that, and I said this, like, I know everyone's like OG Scream is their favorite, and I get that.
Oh, yeah.
Scream 4 has been my favorite. I fucking love that movie. It's Scream 4 is 1A, the original Scream is 1B for me. But 6 made 5 so much better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we worried about Scream 7?
Deeply. Very deeply. Well, actually, I'll say this. If we can keep the producers and the writers together, then I won't be worried. If not, then I'm gonna be a little, because what happened was they needed for Scream 3, they had a whole different writer
Yeah.
who penned
Yeah.
this whole story, and that's how you got what we got. As long as everything stays behind the scenes is intact, I think we'll be okay. If not, if there are any major changes with the writing or producing, then I'm gonna be looking at this very closely and have cause for concern. Because, look, Scream 3 is not the worst movie I've seen in terms of horror, but it made the trilogy up to that point feel like a parody, because
Uh-huh.
I it's one of those, like, I understand the direction, I still don't care for it, because it's like, okay, you made a movie. The commentary was about slashers in the first movie. The second movie is the commentary on sequels, and so 3 obviously is about making a horror movie. Cool, fine, but the story, it was less of a horror and more of a comedy. The killer reveal was shitty. It made the whole first movie feel like it was just puppets on a string. It was stupid. It was stupid. I don't want any more of that coming along as we go into this next. Because again, like you said, 5 was great. 6 makes it look even better, and this movie was great. I need that to have a good ending to it, if that's the ending where we're going to draw the line with this. And you got to bring Sydney back to it.
And Sydney is supposed to be back. So I remember after all of the outrage that Sydney was not going to be in 6 and they weren't going to pay her because they didn't think she was worth it. There were reports that they were going to pay her and bring her back for 7. So we knew before this movie came out and how it ended and everything and the pattern that there was going to be a 7. That was already decided. Katie, are you worried about 7?
A little bit. Just a little. I mean, if they bring back Sydney, good, as they should. Like Reek said, if they can keep everything together behind the scenes, yes. I'm gonna be optimistic about it.
Juss?
You know what? I'm like not that worried. I mean, in this movie they paid homages to the original movies and stuff, but it was still its own thing. So for me, as long as, like what Reek said, to keep the same writers, directors, the same team moving forward, I think Scream 7 will fall in line with 5 and 6. So I'm not really worried about it at all. No.
Okay.
I mean, because like if I was gonna be bad, like they were able to make a successful movie without Neve Campbell, so now they're gonna have her in 7. It's just gonna be as good. So,
okay. I thought about 2 things while this was going on. Based off what? Well, one, I'm gonna go first to give you guys some time. So I'll mention it now, then I'll talk about the other thing, and then we'll get back and give you guys some time. If we go the route that we have seen for Scream 7, where this is in some way, shape, or form going to mimic Scream 3. And based on the similarities in the killers that we saw in Scream 5-1 and 6-2, and who the killer in Scream 3 is, probably not a person we have seen, but think about whose random relative that we didn't know they had may be a killer, and think about that and come back to me with that. But Reek, one thing that you brought up when you were talking about Scream 3 and how it was parodied and everything, that kind of struck something with me. I don't remember if I talked about this or not, but when we talked about the Scream franchise, I believe on the Havoc Hour, and we had our boy TC who was in the chat on there, we mentioned how I felt like Sam seeing Billy kind of reflected in Scream 3, Sydney seeing visions of her dead mom.
That sounds right.
I feel like we talked about that.
Yeah.
So maybe they're planting that seed early so that it leads to something in that movie, and we have that element in there. There was something else, but anyway. Oh, yes, that's what it was, because you were talking about the reveal of the killer, and that kind of... So the killer in Scream 3 is Sydney's half-brother, because, again, Scream has a history of slut-shaming and kept calling Sydney's mom a whore, including her son, who she had out of wedlock prior to, meeting Sydney's dad, before she cheated on him with Billy's mom and all of these things. And now we have Sam, who is Billy's daughter. So does Billy have another kid out there? Maybe.
possibly.
Maybe more than one. Or maybe Roman had a kid that's like Sydney's nephew. Or maybe Billy's mom had another kid.
I see a lot of like on Reddit and stuff, and just like the internet, they always keep mentioning Stu.
Yes.
As if he's still alive.
Yeah.
That was
He
a
might
big
be
theory.
he might be rehabbing somewhere and then plotting his big revenge.
They even kind of mentioned that in this movie, didn't they?
They did.
It's like, yeah, you have to, if you know, like we do, like, yeah, you kind of saw a little
Well, the idea has been kicked around. Honestly, it was something that was thought about for Scream 3
Yep.
that Billy would be, not
Oh
Billy,
yes,
Stu
yeah,
would
yep.
be, he'd be alive, but he'd be in jail, and he would have recruited some kids in high school to go after Sydney. But, they changed so much because of the Columbine situation that this is like, okay, no violence with
Right.
teenagers or anything like that.
Yeah.
I could see that. I honestly, to me, I think the biggest twist that you could have in these, in terms of who a killer could be, and I said this going back to the original trilogy, is make the main character do it. You're you're already like basically leading her down the dark path, like she's Darth Vader or something. Like she hacked up Richie like he was fucking barbecue, like. And
Detective
this
Bailey.
movie, yeah,
Right,
exactly. It's
right.
like this movie was all about her. Like, okay, she's struggling with those visions and demons in her head. She goes to therapy. Therapy doesn't work, and she literally puts on his costume and just hacks him the fuck up. You said what, 30 times? And
Roughly.
Tara pulls
Right.
up to her like, "Yo, what's up with you?" Like when she was looking in the glass case, she's like, "What are you doing?" Like the biggest twist that you could
Right.
pull is like she finally just loses her shit. Like, listen, it's in my blood. My dad was a killer. I tried to fight it, but maybe it's just meant to be. I don't know.
Technically, wasn't the main character the killer in Scream 4?
Mm, that is
Yeah,
true. That is true. They got me.
the niece, right?
Jill.
Erica.
Jill.
Bill,
Was the
she
new
was.
Sydney,
Jill.
and
There you
she
go.
was the killer.
Yeah.
Well, I think them playing into
true.
Sam
I forgot. Was she
you
the
know,
niece or the cousin?
niece.
Okay,
I
there
thought
you
she was
go.
cousin. No, she.
Sydney's mom's, or Sydney was the sister of her mom. That was Sydney's sister. And because remember, she's like, nobody ever talks about my emotional scars.
No, oh, Jill's
Jill's
mom
That's
was
mom
the cousin.
Sydney's
was
mother's
Sydney's
mom.
sister, or mother's
No,
mom.
no,
Was it?
mother's mom. Yeah, yeah, because she said it. She's like, her mom was my sister, and they were talking about scars and shit like
Oh, I
that.
guess it is a
So yeah,
cousin.
so
Yeah.
Sydney's mom
Okay.
and her
Yeah, it's
mom are
cousin,
sisters.
right?
I think we
Okay.
do
Oh, yeah, that's
niece
cousin.
because the age difference.
Probably.
Yeah, you could.
But so what I was saying
Right.
is they could just be leading us to think it's Sam in the next one. But did you see how Tara reacted when she killed Ethan and kind of pushed for Sam to kill Bailey?
Uh-huh.
Could be Tara.
That's a possibility.
And she was more
She is the
extreme with
She
her
is the
killing,
half
too.
sibling.
The brick,
Well, that's another thread, because it's like, okay, yeah, Sam has her whole thing, but Tara has her own stuff. Like basically, Sarah and Tam are both kind of Sydney, because like their whole relationship was estranged to begin with. Like Sam left because when she found out Billy was her father, she fell out with her mom, and Tara's been kind of left alone. Then she gets attacked by Ghostface, and now it's like, okay, I'm in the hospital, and you want to reveal all this shit to me now. Then they have to survive that whole ordeal. They go into this movie in part 6. She's in college, and like, you're hanging over me and won't let me live because of what happened, and you think I'm like I'm glass and I'm gonna break. And it's like they just get to that point where they, have an understanding, like, okay, you can let me go, you can let me live on my own, essentially. And the next step, if it goes forward, and there's anything else that makes you say, you know what, I need to separate myself. Like I said, that scene was telling to me when she saw Sam looking in that glass case, like, yo, snap out of it, you good? Like, so that's another twist.
I would love for both Sam and Tara to be the killers in the next movie. I really don't want them to, because they didn't. There were 2 killers in Scream 2. There were 3 killers in this. So then your opportunity is we can either do what Scream 3 did and do the 1 killer, or we can go up one more and we can go 4 killers. I have 2 options.
Whoa.
Sam and Tara would be fun, but I also feel like at this point, I mean, we're talking about it. It's kind of predictable. That's where you go. What if Mindy and Chad are the killers? What if Mindy's whole thing is she's so mad that she missed the dialogue that she's got to deliver the dialogue herself?
No.
That's, I
Well,
mean,
Well,
that's
Sam does think it's Mindy at the end before Quinn unmasks. She's like, Mindy, and then it's Quinn.
That's one of those things that, like I was saying before, if you pay real close attention and you follow this from start to finish, that actually is perfect. Because how long in the first movie were they teasing that Randy could be the killer? Sydney, when she got her first phone call, she thought Randy was on the phone. Then everyone's like, "Oh, well, Randy's the movie guy. He watches the slashers. He knows this shit." He's like, and then the scene at the video store where he's talking to Stu, and Billy's like, "Yo, maybe your messed up mind lost its reality button." So, like, that would actually be like coming full circle, because you tease like Randy could actually be the killer in the first movie, and then you get all the way 6 movies later, and it's like, okay, the movie buff and her brother wind up being killers in the very end, which actually you could set that up perfectly now that Chad is like with Tara,
Tara.
and that would like be like, oh, well, we're the core 4. There's no way that you two guys could be the killers.
Also, if we go 4 killers, they
Right.
are the core 4.
Oh my god, it's the core.
Are you
Yes.
crazy?
Core 4 is the killers in that movie.
They're
Yes.
so sick of being attacked that they have just decided to go on the offense.
To attack everyone else.
I'm down. I'm down to be the core 4 killers.
I do have a theory kind of going along with like that, the core 4 being the killers. So like, what if like this evolves into something bigger, right? So like, we all know that Billy and Stu are like basically the early they took a stab at being early influencers, right? And so like, people want to be as famous as them, right? Because now we're in this world of like, killing makes me famous. So like, what if other people decide to take on the Ghostface, brand, if you will? A bunch of other Ghostface start popping off, killing people. Then the core 4 is like, we have to stop that group of Ghostface, so we have to become Ghostface killers ourselves. And then they are trying to kill them all as Ghostface, and we just have a Ghostface war.
Ghostface war. Whoa.
Just a Ghostface force.
We go with the original idea that Justin had, and we have one killer in Scream 7, and it's Ghostface Killer.
Because he needed royalties for the name? He needed royalties for the name?
I think people would leave when that happens.
Straight up, could you imagine the monologue at the end? You're going through all this, you're trying to figure out who it is, and it just reveals himself to be Ghostface Killer. And he's like, I'm tired of you motherfuckers using my name as a premise for all of your bullshit.
Oh my gosh. That would be hilarious.
I'm gonna
wearing Cuban links and all that. Clarks.
A
ghost face wearing Clarks.
I'm gonna throw out a random wild card, and only because it's one of those things that remains unsolved to this day. Oh, Katie's dead. Oh. Katie's dead, guys. Angelina from part 3.
Ooh.
If you watch any documentaries or behind the scenes stuff on part 3, she was originally one of the killers. It was her and Roman. And if you watch it, because I watched 3 very recently going into watching 6. If you watch that scene where Sydney caught her in the bathroom and she had the mask, the very next scene is where she goes into the set, the house on set, and somebody attacks her there. That motherfucker is wearing the same exact black boots that she was wearing just prior to it, and she went right out onto the stage just before her. So the working idea was that Jennifer was helping Roman with the killings all the way up until the party, until I guess she realized that he was cutting bait with her, and she decided to get out, and then he winds up killing her. But you could sit up there and kind of you just saw her getting dragged away. That easily, especially with all the other fake killings in the franchise, like that easily could have been just nah, she ain't dead. We just pulled her off screen.
Well, I don't know what you did, but your camera looks so much better.
Yeah, holy shit.
I don't know. I'm annoyed.
We told everybody you were dead. So,
well, Reek told everybody you were dead.
What the fuck?
That's
so Reek's theory is possibly Angelina from Scream 3, the woman that was cast as Sydney, as a wild card killer. Now, coming off of that, if they do mimic in some way, shape, or form what we got in Scream 3, if they're making a movie about the original thing and they're trying to get it shut down or whatever, I don't know why Justin keeps turning his camera off, but whatever happens, maybe it's not specifically Angelina, but maybe the character that's cast to play Sam and or Tara in the movie ends up actually being the killer as opposed to the director, since that was the original goal and then they diverted from that. So that's something to keep an eye on too. If there is a movie or something being made and those characters get cast based off Gail's book or whatever.
So she did. Why do I think she died in the movie?
Well, technically she did. I was just telling them. So originally, Angelina was supposed to be the second killer before they wound up just sticking with just Roman as the one killer.
Yeah,
it was him and her. And I guess like somewhere down the line, when you get to the final scene in the house, it was like, well, she realizes that Roman's cutting bait with her, and she just wants to leave, and then he winds up killing her. But the way that like a whole bunch of these killings get faked as the franchise goes on, especially in this last movie, it's like you didn't really see her die. Like she's laying on the floor and you see her get pulled out of frame, but you could easily say that maybe she didn't get killed because she took like one stab like in this area. I could easily say she's still alive.
Also, doesn't she scream something about like I didn't fuck that pig Roman to have this movie canceled or some shit like that?
Yeah,
which is how we found out that that's how she got the role.
Yeah. It's really funny how like the whole. I guess this was like a 20-year early blowing the whistle on what's his face, Weinstein,
Harvey Weinstein,
because
oh
like,
my gosh, I didn't think
because Wes directed it and they didn't really have much to say about like anything in edits, but looking back on this now, it came out in 2000 and the whole premise was a producer who was taking advantage of potential actors in Hollywood.
Yep.
That kind of makes Scream 3 a little better.
Okay. Yeah, it was ahead of time.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, man! Now that you said that, now I cannot unsee it now.
Yeah, and like I watched the movie back, like it kind of like the guy that they cast kind of seemed like he could be sleazy too. So it's like it all just blended together. Again, they didn't say nothing about it in edits, so it just let it run. But Wes might have known about that and was just like, yo, run with it. See if anybody picks up on it.
All right. Do we have anything else from Scream 6 that we want to talk about?
I do have a question. When you guys went to go watch it in the theater, did you guys see the the limited Ghostface popcorn cup?
No.
Did you guys see that?
My friend ordered me one.
She ordered?
I
Okay.
about it, but I didn't.
Oh, okay. You
saw it. I was like, I might do it, but nah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
They were
my theater ran out, so
yeah, they were selling them for like a limited time, and then they ran out, and then they like put them on the website. Like I'm not getting it until like August, but because I was
Oh,
contemplating.
they
and then
couldn't
she
just
told
get.
me.
Oh, okay.
She told me she
okay.
ended up buying me one. I was like, oh my god, thank you so much.
That's cool. Yeah.
It's very nice for her.
I do need some Ghostface merch. That is for sure. That is one area that I'm severely lacking in.
Well, if you had to come up with some Ghostface merch from the Scream series, what would it be?
This is not a sweaty session, Justin. What are you trying to do?
So this is not your fucking show.
Man, just trying to hijack my show. Yeah, well, I mean,
You know me way too well, man.
He called your
I
ass out. real
100%
fast.
know you way too well.
Mm-mm.
You know what you don't know, though, Justin?
What's that?
Oh boy.
You know if you're gonna run out of supplies for your pet. And I haven't got
Ah.
a single plug this entire episode. And now it's time to find a way to get them all in. If you go to dog.com, which is your online dog supply shopping and information destination, everything your dog needs from toys to treats and food is available, including collars and leashes. They even have outdoor gear and water safety gear for your furry friend. Also geared to help keep your furry friend alive if you are running from a ghost face killer. Go to dog.creationworld.com to receive up to 64% off your order today. That is dog.creationworld.com.
I do have one more question though.
Okay, yes.
So like I know it's late, and I know like we all been kind of doing our thing. Like my energy is feeling like really low. Is there something that you could possibly help me with?
There is actually, Justin. And if you were to go to Dubby.com, or more
Okay.
specifically, Dubby.creationworld.com and use code Creatia, you would receive 10% off your order of Dubby, a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like other energy drinks. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby also contains vitamins, amino acids, nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. The product is made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. Dubby has handpicked what they believe to be the 10 most critical ingredients for focus and concentration. Dubby contains important aminos and vitamins that canned energy drinks simply don't have. Dubby uses Neurofactor, a patented all-natural coffee cherry extract, to help fuel you. This ingredient is what gives Dubby its laser-focused and fast reflexes, making it especially perfect for gamers or anyone trying to stay alive while being chased by a psycho with a knife or shotgun. They also disclose full ingredient amounts, and the products will never contain fillers or artificial colors or dyes. Dubby is also sugar-free, maltodextrin-free, and keto-friendly. So if you want to get all buff like Reek, Dubby will not ruin your diet as you're on your grind. Again, go to w.creationworld.com, use code Creation to receive 10% off your order today.
Nice.
I know there's one more you need to get in there.
There is. I don't know about what kind of Scream merch that I'd want to make for a sweaty session or just my own idea, but there is some merch that I think you guys should go pick up. It's my favorite product to plug because we are the #1 wrestling and horror podcast on Pornhub. And we are sponsored by Adam and Eve, which is the nation's largest marketer of adult products with millions of satisfied customers in the United States and all over the world. Founded in 1971, Adam and Eve is also one of the oldest names in the rapidly evolving adult industry. For more than 50 years, they have built a reputation up as a trusted and reliable adult toy store that takes pleasure and privacy seriously. When you want to shop erotic toys, Adam and Eve has it all. Men and women, straight and gay, and everywhere in between. Adam and Eve has all the adult toys you're looking for, including but not limited to vibrators and dildos, like from the Texas Dildo Masquerade, anal sex toys, bondage toys, couples toys, lubes, sexy gifts, and accessories. Unlike other adult toy stores, Adam and Eve stands behind all their products and offers a no questions asked return policy. So whether you bought a dildo, sex swing, or a penis ring, you can get a refund within 90 days if you're not 100% satisfied. So go to adamandeve.creationworld.com and use code erotica to receive 50% off one item plus free shipping on orders of $49 or more. That's adamandeve.com or adamandeve.creationworld.com and use code erotica to receive 50% off one item and free shipping on orders of $49 or more.
Yes.
Ooh, man.
Excellent.
You need a new penis ring, Rick?
Excellent.
I think I'm good.
Sure?
Yeah.
Okay, because we got you. What about sex swing? I see some room back there behind you.
I haven't taken that leap yet. I think it's a little, well, it's not early, but not at that point in time yet.
I'm just saying, listen, every adult needs tools, and this is just another tool in your belt.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll maybe pencil it in for a later date. How about that?
Okay. Justin, anal sex toys, interested? Hook it up.
I mean, we've I've got some from the Sexpo,
Okay.
you know.
Well, if you
But if
need
you
to
like
add
to,
something new
you
to
know,
your collection,
throw me a
definitely
bone
go to Adam
here.
and Eve. Yeah, 100%, 50% off, free shipping. I got you, bro.
Yeah.
Code erotica. Does anyone
Yeah.
else have anything from Scream 6?
I think we covered everything. I mean, it was great. Billie Eilish. Somebody was dressed up as Billie Eilish in the Halloween scene.
Oh yeah, because she had a song in the movie.
Yeah, that wasn't
Soundtrack
Yeah,
was
she had
good.
a song in the movie. So, shout out.
Oh, glad you
Yeah,
brought that up.
soundtrack was.
Somebody, no, but no, somebody in that initial party scene at the college was dressed up like Wednesday Addams, and obviously Jenna is the star of the show
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yep.
And it was like right in front of your face when you got into that scene. That was pretty dope.
There's been a little controversy about Jenna's Wednesday, and the producer saying that she was difficult to work with and doesn't want to work with her anymore or something like that because she had
What?
some words to say about, you know, working on the scene and how she didn't feel like the writers wrote some shit that Wednesday would do and blah blah blah. There was a whole bunch of controversy over that. So I don't know if we're gonna see a Wednesday season 2, and if we do, if Jenna's coming back, or if they're just gonna bring Jenna back and get a new producer, director. I think it was a producer.
I'm pretty sure she's gonna be something behind the scenes for the next season.
Probably because they got rid of the guy talking shit.
Probably, but you know damn well if this was a male actor talking all this shit, people would be like, "Oh no, it's fine." Fucking double standards.
I agree.
No,
do we have
like
any?
Probably a little disconnect there too, because I didn't realize how young this girl was. She's like 21.
Yeah, she's young.
Can we talk about how Sam looked like a fine Raquel Gonzalez real quick? Because like Sam was not doing it for me in 5, but for whatever reason, this movie, I was like, I didn't know Raquel Gonzalez could be attractive, but now I do. I'm starting to feel like Braun Strowman here for a second.
I don't know. I wouldn't say she looks like Raquel Gonzalez. I mean, I can see where you think that.
Like, if you shrunk her down.
But she has more of a toned back instead of Raquel's is like that's like a muscular back, you know?
Well, yeah, because you softened her a little bit.
Yep.
It's Raquel Light. I like Raquel Light.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I think I see what he's saying, like, but I will say towards the end of 5, it kind of it was kind of starting to do it for me. And now, you know, I guess ever since she caught her first body, she kind of just started blossoming. And by the time we get now to here to 6, it's just like full on display. And
there's some attractive ass people in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. She had to pretend like she wasn't ready to, you know, have interaction with people anymore, specifically men. Meanwhile, she's fucking the dude across the street. So
who is also hot as fuck. It only makes sense.
I don't know why, but I hate that fucking actor.
No, you just hated him in She-Hulk.
That's what he said.
Yeah, because
I didn't like him in this as well. And I've seen him in other stuff. There's something about him that bothers me.
Is it his face?
No, it's his voice and the way he talks bugs the shit out of me.
I'm just asking questions.
Jason was
I was a
also
little
doing
jealous
it
of
for
him.
me too.
Jason was doing it for you.
Yeah, the Flash
Flash
from
Gordon.
Spider-Man.
Flash
know,
Thompson.
Flash Thompson, yeah.
Like I said, attracting those people in this movie.
Not Flash Morgan Webster. That's someone completely different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, Mindy for sure. 1000% for Mindy.
See, I'm surprised Justin didn't hype up the Asian representation, even though she got offed and thrown off a ladder.
Yeah, I mean,
She got
yeah,
the dirtiest
what
treatment in this movie.
yeah. But
That was
yeah,
a damn shame.
You always hype up the Asian representation.
I
You're always there for it.
I do. But I mean, but man, Mindy though.
I mean,
From
shout out to the gays.
From 5, whew.
I kind of miss the swagger that Mindy had in 5, where she was just sitting on the couch.
Yeah,
and like, what are you gonna do? And she's like,
uh-huh.
I'm gonna sit here and watch this movie, and I might make out with her.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
she just kind of looks and like she's got more swag than that entire cast.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Any more? What do you guys want to see in 7? Like we talked about our worries about 7. We talked about possible killers. What's some shit like you want to like? What do you want to see out of 7? And then we'll close it out.
I kind of want to see more Kirby. Do you think she shows up in 7?
I want Kirby to get a
mean,
better
they have to
fucking
bring
wig.
her
You're a
back for a
blonde. What the fuck was that about?
Yeah. Like there's no way you went from that short haircut you had to like fucking
Man.
damn near Laurie Strode circa 1978. Like there's just no way. There's just
Don't get me
no
wrong.
way, sweetheart.
I love Hayden Panettiere. However,
Panettiere.
that wig was bad. That was
Yeah,
a
it was.
bad wig. And she's a blonde. Why was she wearing a wig?
Yeah. She had some work done, Hayden Panettiere,
A little bit.
right? A
Yeah,
little
you
bit?
got it.
Okay.
She looks fine.
It,
Doesn't matter.
I did like the interaction
I
she
know.
had
I
with
wasn't
Gail.
saying that.
She's like, since when did the FBI start hiring children?
Kirby's like, I'm 30.
Damn.
So Justin wants to see more Kirby.
Yes.
I want to see a better wig.
More actual kills because I feel like I don't know,
Ooh.
kind of it was a
one.
little lower, but I want like a big body count next movie.
Katie does like a big body count.
That's
Yeah.
a different story for a different trail.
Yeah, definitely have to get the numbers up. I feel like one last Randy cameo would be appropriate, like some hidden tape
so.
or whatever for his niece and nephew. Yeah, something like that. That would be pretty dope.
Random
obviously,
VHS.
yeah. Obviously, Sydney's got to come back, but
Katie wants to. I'm not a huge Matthew Lillard fan as far as like. Okay, listen. Matthew Lillard was the Matt Riddle of the first movie.
That's not fair.
Was that not his character?
I mean, he was
though?
Shaggy. He played Shaggy. He played Shaggy.
Was that not his character though?
But like,
Yeah,
it was just-
that is his character.
You're gonna ruin this movie for me, and I'm never gonna watch it again. Don't do this.
I'm just saying.
Don't do this.
Stu was if somehow we find out that Stu was some sort of mastermind, whatever, but like he was a fucking idiot. He was just along for the ride. His motivation to do this didn't even make sense. Like you just riding with
because
your homie.
Billy was his gay
I
lover.
mean-
That was the
I mean-
motivation.
Well, that and do you know
Oh, yeah.
what the definition of a fall guy is?
Oh, I absolutely know what a definition of a fall guy is. However,
Realistically,
if that is part 7, Stu comes back to avenge Billy by trying to kill Nev Campbell because despite the fact that Billy wasn't gay, Billy convinced Stu that he was gay and Stu was in love with Billy the entire time. We'll ignore the fact that Stu was also porking
Tatum.
what's her nuts? Who?
Tatum,
Tatum.
the Dewey's
Yes.
sister.
Tatum. Stewie's sister, yeah. I don't know. I might be okay with that.
Listen, I got Skeet in the last movie, fine as fuck, aged like wine. I want Matthew Lillard in the next one, who is also fine as fuck and aged like wine. This is for me.
Okay.
I don't care what anyone else wants. This is what I want.
But also, it's not in this universe, but we did kind of see that storyline already play out in the parody version of Scary Movie. They admitted that they were gay for each other. What's his face?
Yeah.
The boyfriend admitted
I'm not
that
gay. You suck
he
my
was
dick.
gay. You're right. yeah. So technically, that did happen already.
Ray fucked me. Ray fucked me. Ray fucked me.
And they high five. Great.
That was funny. It's like, but you made love to me. No. First of all, you suck my dick.
So Katie wants Stu. Just wants Hayden Panettiere. I want a better wig.
Yes.
We need Sydney back. Does Gail have to go in 7? Finally.
Yes.
She should be the last kill of that movie. Like the last loose end, basically. We don't want any more books. We don't want anyone to know that this happened. Like this is like the end of the road here. And let her do it in a way that she can at least go out looking good. Like she saves Sydney from dying, because Sydney's got kids. Sydney's married. So she cannot die. So in order to protect Sydney from biting the bullet, or the knife rather, let Gail take it. Yeah, or bullet, I guess.
What if we go the Dark Knight Rises route? What if Tara and Sam are the killers? Their goal is to kill Sydney and Gail to wrap everything up like you said and fake their own deaths so that all of this ends and nobody comes for them. And then they're drinking wine in Paris and fucking Alfred sees them.
Michael fucking Caine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's all he wants.
Let's do that.
I like that.
No,
the same
no,
music
no,
and everything.
no,
The same music and everything.
Not Michael Caine. What Katie wants. Matthew Lillard.
Oh, Stu.
Even better. Fuck Michael Caine. Matthew Lillard. Yes.
I'd be here for that. If there's an ending scene that sees them somewhere just enjoying a little brief lunch and they look over and Matthew Lillard gives them a nod, I'm gonna stand up and clap in that fucking theater.
I'm literally calling that in the theater if it happens.
Let me ask you this. Did any of you stick around for what they fucking called an end credit scene?
Yep. The first time I did, the second time I was like, I'm leaving.
I did, yes.
You know how bad that pissed me the fuck off?
Me too.
Because I sat there, Kate's like,
damn
is
it.
there an end credit scene? And I'm like, I mean, the lights haven't come up, and Marvel has trained me to believe that if the lights don't come up, you stay. And I stayed that entire time for what, Katie? What was the end credit scene?
It was just so it was like from the park earlier in the movie, and it's Mindy being like, there doesn't have to be an end credit scene, and then
right.
So mad.
I was pissed. I looked at my friends. I was like, "You're fucking kidding me."
I laughed my ass off. Like I was disappointed, but I couldn't stop laughing at that.
I mean, it was a good one, but god damn it.
It was like was it the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 where they had Howard the Duck?
Yeah.
That was just like ordering drinks. That was like the same thing I felt.
All right.
Well, it reminded me of Deadpool where he did the Ferris Bueller thing, where in the road and was like, "Yeah, there's nothing else here. You can go.
Oh yeah.
Go away."
We will go around the room in order of what I see on my screen. Justin, Katie, Reek, everyone plug your stuff. I will be back before you are done.
All right. Well, if you enjoy this, you can find me in the Get Your Podcast on Twitter, Get Your Podcast on Instagram. You can find me there. You can find me in Marks and Mikes.
Very good.
And my next homie.
Right. Sorry, mine's long. I got time.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all can find me at Havoc24 on Instagram and on Twitter. You can find the near defunct Havoc Hour on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, YouTube for the video versions. All my people have been on the show. We'll talk sports and entertainment, TV, movies. You can find Young Kings Wrestling everywhere at ykwrestling.com, on Twitter at YKWrestling, as well as Instagram, and the same deal. All streaming platforms: Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, and we just kind of post clips on YouTube now, so it's not full episodes, but you can still listen to us.
Yeah.
I could tell that. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at KaterWrestling13. The link tree I'm about to get all things She-Lead Showcase, twitch.tv/She-Lead Showcase, typically Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern-ish. It's usually 6:15. Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts if you want to listen, youtube.com/She-Lead Showcase if you want to watch. She-Lead Showcase is the brand and the weekly show me and my co-host Savannah do. Inside the Mind of interview series. All three of these lovely gentlemen have been on. The first three guests, actually. These three.
Core 4.
Core 4. I'm making us shirts. We're all gonna get fucking shirts. Okay?
Oh yeah.
I'm down.
Yes.
Oh my god, everyone's happy.
Just in time for 7.
Oh.
Perfect. We'll make it happen. Okay, cool. Fuck was I? Oh yeah. Inside the Mind of a new episode with Savannah will actually be out on Monday.
Sorry, real quick. By the way, how's your back?
Yep. Still hurts.
Because you mentioned. Never mind. Continue.
That's a post-show conversation.
I know. That's why I stopped. Go ahead.
Anyways, there's a bunch of other shit up on the channel, a vlog from SmackDown that I decided to post today because I had zero motivation. And thank you. I just do a lot of shit. I'm always on SmackDown Raw with Matt. I won't be next week though, but I'll be in the chat. So.
And as always, you can follow me on Twitter at Matt Ridders, at MATTRIDDER. Or if you're watching the show and you really enjoyed this conversation and you're like, hey, what's more thoughts that these guys have on horror movie stuff and where can I find all that stuff? Go to @GettingOff on Twitter only as well. I have a thread pinned to my homepage of everything that we have done horror movie related from the Havoc Hour through Getting Off. Every episode on YouTube is pinned in that tweet. So you can go watch all of our conversations and all of our discussions. Go check out the discussion we did on the Scream franchise 1 through 5 to pair with this lovely conversation that we had on Scream 6. Go check out everything we talked about for Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, a review of Megan that was our last episode that we did. If you're feeling frisky, we sat down and watched a porn parody that is a Pornhub exclusive. You can check that out on pornhub.com/model/creation world because we are the #1 horror podcast on Pornhub. Creation World is the banner under which the SmackDown, Raw, and Getting Off podcast exist. You can follow them on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at It's Creation World, ITSCREATIA. Go to creationworld.com, learn more about them. If you are joining us on twitch.tv/Creation World, thank you so much. If you are generous enough to throw us a subscription, we would appreciate it. And if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can throw us a free subscription by linking your Prime account to your Twitch account. You get 1 free subscription every month. We would very much appreciate it. We are banging out content left and right for you. This show roughly every 2 weeks, Smacking It Raw every week if you're a wrestling fan, and then Monday through Friday every week, the Creation Conversation with a random rotating cast of hosts, including this Monday, Travis and Miss Katie Kinsey Bay at noon, talking all that nerd-ish. Also, YouTube, if you're not on Twitch, but you're on YouTube, it's free to hit that notification bell, to subscribe, to know when we go live so you can catch all of the content that we are providing you. If horror isn't your thing and wrestling is, we got it. If you're not into that, but you're into comic books and movies and all that, we've got that for you as well. everything you need, we have got. Oh yeah, facebook.com/Gracious That's the thing too. For my fellow core four. Well, let's do this right before we go. Let's do this. If we're the core four, who is who? Who's who?
Oh fuck.
Oh man.
Okay.
Katie's got to be Mindy, right?
I was gonna say I have to be Mindy because I'm bi, and she's gay. So.
Okay.
I have an argument to make that Katie could be Tara and Reek would be Chad, but that could be a conversation for after dark.
Photo.
Oh my.
I think
All right.
Matt is Sam.
Oh yeah, by default.
I'll take that. So that's the other argument is if I'm Sam, and since this was originally a Matt and Reek production, that would make Reek Tara.
Probably.
And then we brought Katie and Juss on, which would make Katie, Mindy, and Just Brad or Chad. Why have I
Why
called
do you
Brad?
keep calling
so
him
much now?
Brad?
I don't know.
And I'm perfectly fine with that.
Are you good with being our Dewey?
Yeah, I don't mind. Someone's got to be the. I mean, technically, Dewey was always kind of like the funny one. So I mean, that kind of
That is
fits
true.
He
That
said.
is
So-
very true.
He absolutely would fit the role.
Yeah. So.
All right. For Wreak Havoc, it's your boy Juss and Miss Katie Kinsey Bebe. I am the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Mad Ritter, and we have gotten you offed.